Good morning or good afternoon if you are seeing this later in the day. Today we are going over something called grid drawing. So we've been through still life, we've practiced with our line quality, but we want to work even more intensely with getting something that's a little more detailed than you might be used to. And we want to break it down into simpler parts. So the idea of the grid is that you have an object that is broken down into smaller bits. So a lot of people do this incorrectly, and they see this and they think they just need to draw it on top of the grid, and they need to just take this and place it any old way. No. So with the grid, you want to look in each box. This is A, B, C, A, B, C, and this is row 1. So with this, is there anything in box A? No. So if there's nothing in box A, we're actually not going to draw anything in box A. In box B, however, we have the head of our penguin. I'm going through with just some paper, and I'm actually going to fold this a couple of times to make it a little bit skinnier. And I want to isolate, which means go in and chunk things down. I want to just see box B so I can see what's in there. First thing you want to do, you want to identify the edges. What is coming off of that box? So for box B, we have a line coming down through the edge of the bottom. We have nothing on the edge here on the left-hand side, and nothing's going through the edge of the very top. So these places, I need to leave that blank. So again, A is blank. I'm jumping to B. And then I'm just looking at where these lines are and where they kind of end. That way I can see what I'm doing here and get all the placement correct. This one, it's like a little less than halfway, about there. So now that I have this kind of outline, I can go in and I'm going to connect these edges for the edge of the head. And if you watch how my hand is moving, I am not doing long lines. Please remember, long lines are harder to control. I'm doing short, little, light lines. That way, if I make a mistake, I am able to erase and it is fine. So now I'm gonna go through, and this part of the face is a little bit fuzzy, so I'm actually gonna try it not to connect all of those light lines that I'm making. Y'all, I don't know why I always forget to mic myself up. I hope this sound is okay. I just realized that I jumped in without my mic. So I have the beak here, and the beak is not reaching the very bottom here. It's floating above and coming off of this edge. So this is coming off of this edge on the right. We have this coming off of that edge. The edge is really important to keep in mind because it's going to connect to these other boxes. Before I move on to box C, I do want to get this eye in, and I'm looking at where that's placed. It's not all the way over here, not all the way over here. It's like in the middle. I'm just going to draw that kind of rounded shape. It's almost like a little almond shape where it's round in the middle, kind of pointy on the sides. And then it's got some little details there. If you need to fill in the eye, you can fill that in lightly. We will be going over shading fairly soon. So we're just kind of prepping for shading by working with those light lines for drawing, because shading is all about the pressure that we put on that pencil. So if you need more practice with that, I am going to set up practice packets for people who I think need a little bit more practice. So we will kind of divvy out who needs a little bit more practice and who doesn't. That way everyone is prepped and ready for shading. All right, I'm gonna leave you here. Have a wonderful day. I will see you later. Bye.